Going on. So I wrestled with a bunch of different ways to go with this video, and I'm actually going to be constructive. I was just going to do like a funny video, like a funny sarcastic video in my style of funny sarcasm, but I do want to be constructive because that is my regular goal with anything that I want to be like angry about. But this is both for you as well as the person who runs this Rush Royale content page, because I understand both sides, and here we go. So, if you aren't subscribed to the Rush Royale content page, you can be subscribed to the Rush Royale content page. That is a thing that you can do, and I feel like a lot of people that are subscribed to the Rush Royale content page, basically all they do is they wait for Rush Royale to post anything, and then they go into the comments, and then they complain about everything. And that's pretty much just basically every single post, every single video. Anytime they talk about literally anything, it's just, most of the time, it's just a whole bunch of people blessing. Let's talk about next week's blessing. So many legendaries in the game, but they're so hard to get. Spirit Master again. Bruh, are y'all gonna do Magic Council faction again? Kindly nerf the Sea Dog, right? That's the person side, like the Rush Royale, like regular person, customer side of the Rush Royale content page. And then the opposite end of that spectrum is the person who runs the site. Right, and in terms of like YouTube and like any social media thing, like like a major Instagram account where it's not managed by one person, I am the person that manages my YouTube account. So whatever happens on my YouTube account, whatever I decide to respond to, however I decide to respond, I am doing that because it is my account, right? But the person that runs the content side of the Rush Royale account, this is the opposite side of that. And I've gathered together some of their the responses that they would normally leave. Need more options to earn legendary cards or crystals without using money. Hello, thank you for your comment. We'll pass it on to the dev team. We should get unlimited rounds back, at least a new game mode or something, and I know I'm not alone. Been playing this for years and miss the old days. Hello, thank you for your comment. We'll pass it to the dev team. Hello, our team is constantly working on balancing the game to ensure a fair and enjoyable experience for all players. You can share your feedback or suggestions, and we will pass it on to the dev team. You need to rework a Banshee talent where she gets a shield. It's not fair to the people who don't have level 5 mermaid, and she can't stop negative effects on the group talent. She needs a talent rework. Hello, thank you for your feedback. We will make sure the developers know about it. You can feel free to read these. Thank you for your attention and comment. We'll pass this to the developers. Greetings, thank you for the comment. We'll pass it to the dev team. Hello, thank you for your comment. We'll pass it to the dev team. Hello, thank you for your comment. We will pass it to the dev team. Hello, thank you for your attention and feedback. We will pass it to the dev team. Hello, thank you for your feedback. We will pass it to the dev team. Hello, thank you for your comment. We will pass it to the dev team. Hello, thank you for your comment. We will pass it to the dev team. Greetings, thank you for your comment. We will pass it to the dev team. Thank you for your comment. We'll pass it to the dev team. Hello, thank you for sharing your thoughts. We will make sure the developers know about them. Hello, thank you for sharing your feedback. We will pass it to the dev team. Hello, thank you for sharing your suggestion. We will make sure the developers know about them. Thank you for your comment. We'll pass it to the dev team. Thank you for your attention and comment. We will pass it to the dev team. Thank you for your comment. We will pass it to the dev team. That is essentially most of the, it's not all of the responses, but I did collect a lot of responses, and that is most of the responses that I collected. Now, this is to say something to both sides. One, as a person playing this game, stop writing comments that are things that you hate about this game. None of it matters. None of it matters because this game is not yours. Rush Royale, as a company, they have the ability to do whatever they want because it's their company. If they decide to say, oh, you know what, next week we're gonna, in 24.2, we are gonna buff Riding Hood because in our testing, Riding Hood is not as good as Crystalmancer, and we feel the need to buff it, so it's gonna do more damage now, and we're gonna nerf Crystalmancer. And then in 25.0, they go, actually, we're actually gonna buff Riding Hood even more. Because in our testing, it should be a very powerful unit, but it doesn't seem to be very powerful. So we're gonna buff it even more. And then in 25.1, they're like, actually, Riding Hood is still not as powerful as we want it to be. And we have tested it against other cards, and we have seen your feedback. We need to buff it even more. They could do that. They can make up any reason that they want to make up. And say it as fact, and it's their game. They can do whatever they want. It's kind of like writing into Apple and saying, your iPhone is too expensive, you should lower the price. Yes, they accept feedback, but they're not going to lower the price just because you said you should lower the price. Thousands of people could say, lower the price, but if they want to raise the price, they're just going to raise the price. And if that means that you don't buy it, somebody else will, right? So if you are going to subscribe to the Rush Royale official page, just know that if you decide to write comments about, changes that they should make in the game, yeah, they're going to hear your suggestions. They're going to allow you to write suggestions. But whatever they actually choose to do, that's up to them. In the same way that they chose to answer those questions, right? The questions that they chose to answer in this FAQ, right? Even when they finally addressed some questions that they have apparently pulled from suggestions, right? Your suggestions, right? One of those questions was, are there any plans to add voice acting and animation to the Jake Paul hero? What person, how many, what was the flood of questions that people were asking, are you going to add more voice acting? Is Jake Paul going to say more things in game? Because that is what the people want. That is what everybody wants. We need more Jake Paul words of wisdom in this game. When are you finally going to add that? I feel like them saying that was one of the questions should give you the best possible example that they do whatever they want. That is an FAQ that they're saying that they've gathered all those questions, and they took the most requested questions and decided to answer them finally. That was one of the questions. Do I live on a side of Rush Royale where I'm not hearing the droves of people just saying, like, we all demand more quotes from Jake Paul, the Jake Paul hero. We use it all the time and we want more Jake Paul. So that is, that's my advice to you. My advice to you is don't write in suggestions. It doesn't matter. I mean, and if you want to write suggestions and you decide to, post after post, write the same suggestion, like nerf Riding Hood. And then, oh, Riding Hood is too good. You should nerf Riding Hood, right? And then next post that they write, oh, you should nerf Riding Hood. And then they decide to respond to you. Oh, thank you for your suggestion. We're going to pass it on to the dev team. And then the next post that, they make, you're like, you didn't do my thing. You didn't nerf Riding Hood. Like, I asked you last post and, you told me, you promised me that you were going to pass that on to the dev team, right? You didn't do it because Riding Hood is still too good. And I'm going to quit the game if you don't nerf Riding Hood, right? If you start to get like that, don't comment. don't comment, because inevitably what they choose to do is it's their prerogative. They can do whatever they want because it's their game. You can say the premium pass should be free. That's what the people want. The premium pass, it should be free. Like, that's never going to happen, right? If anything, I'm actually shocked that it's not more expensive now with inflation of everything, right? And to the other side, right? And this is going to be quick. I understand, like, the Rush Royale developer side or the support side, right? Because there's different teams. There's the Rush Royale person that probably runs the Rush Royale YouTube, right? Person making the videos, the person responding to comments, right? That person is different from the dev team. The person, in a different room, doing mechanics for the game, testing the game, that is a different person. And I get that. There are two separate sides. There are two separate teams of people. I don't think that... I understand why you're saying we'll pass it to the dev team, but I feel, and I understand that the reason why is because you feel like that's making people think that their suggestion is being heard and it's going towards something. But that makes you, the person writing this comment, sound like you're just copying and pasting a response because you're not the person that we should be talking to. Like, if somebody asked me, if I was managing somebody else's, science, like astronomy page, right? And somebody asked, some super technical question. How far is Jupiter? Do you think that we could inhabit Jupiter? And if they started going into like technical terms, right? And every single comment, I decided to say, "Oh, let me ask a real scientist. Let me ask a real scientist. Thank you for your comment. Let me ask a real scientist." Eventually, wouldn't they be like, "This isn't the person that I'm supposed to ask. I'm going to ask somebody higher up." And by the way, for every regular person still listening, there is no way that you can ask somebody higher up than a support person. Than a support person that, if you have any problems with this game, problems as in like, I paid for this premium pass and it took my money, but it didn't give me the premium pass. That support person is also not part of the dev team. That is a technical support person. It's an IT support person. They can probably refund the money back to your card. They are not going to change whether or not Riding Hood is being buffed or nerfed. So there is no technical way to talk to all of those, the dev team. It is basically an imaginary like group of people that you will never have access to. For anybody running this account that keeps copying and pasting these responses as real responses, if I could talk to you, which I can't, I trust that, the dev team is not watching my videos, right? But if I could talk to you, I would say, don't say that you're passing it on to the dev team. I don't know what other kind of like response that you should probably have is. Like maybe like, thank you for your comment. Thank you for your suggestion. Or maybe ask the dev team. Give people real responses. Something else. Something that doesn't look copied and pasted. Like, and if you can't offer a response, right? If you can't offer any kind of like real response, like somebody saying, change the crystal amount per legendary. If you don't want to say we don't have any plans of changing that, like we're not going to change that. If you don't feel like doing that, just don't respond. That's almost more preferable than to give a response that's a not response. That's not a response. Like, if I was running a science page and I didn't know about something, I would be like for example, my own page. If people like ask me, "Hey, what's a good meteor deck?" I will say, "I don't know. I don't know what a good meteor deck is because I don't play Meteor." And that's a real response. And if I lose that person because that's their question, then they're not following me for the right reasons. And if somebody is going to say, change the number of crystals, and you say, we have no real plans to do that as of late, like there are no plans in the immediate future to change that, and they decide to unfollow you, or they decide to stop playing the game, they were probably going to stop playing the game anyway. But at least that's a real response. It's not giving people false hope that their comment is going towards something. And I feel like you should either give real responses that answer in a hard-hitting way, more than, oh yeah, we could do it, we'll pass it on to the dev team. Because that would be like me answering all of my questions like, yeah, I'll do it, maybe, eventually. How do you play Meteor? Oh, stay tuned for the next video, and you'll find out. Maybe I'll do a next video on that. And me just constantly responding with that, even though I don't have Meteor anywhere near max, nor do I have it planned. But that would be like me lying to my audience and saying, stay tuned for the next video, you might see Meteor. Because that's just a straight lie. Because you're making, you know that that's not going to happen. And I'd rather say, I don't know. I don't know how to play Meteor because I am not a Meteor player. And I don't have Meteor leveled up. Because at least that's real.